Welcome to the SMARTFinance Series, brought to you by AffinityPlus Credit Union in partnership with Gems from Friends. In this series, we will be diving into real conversations about money, how we earn it, manage it, save it, and make it work for us. We'll be sitting down with a variety of guests to hear their financial journeys. Whether you're just getting started or looking to level up, these conversations are here to guide, inspire, and empower you. Now let's get into it. Today, we are going to be talking about from idea to income, building a business that wins. And I have two special guests in the studio with me today, and I'm going to go ahead and let them introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Marie Theodore, Chief Operations Officer of AffinityPlus Credit Union.
Thanks for coming.
And my name is David Davis. I'm the Creative Director of Renaissance Designs, Inc.
Thank you. You go by another name, though.
D2.
D2, man. We all know you as D2. Yeah. So my first question for you is what made you believe that your idea was worth pursuing?
The place it came from. It wasn't anything that I embraced from outside of me.
Right.
Something that was in me. So when I made the move to start my own business, it came from a passion and a purpose. You know, and opposed to something that I saw or I see somebody making money, they just want to pursue that. It wasn't that. It was something that came from inside.
Right. For you to start, it would have taken some financial risk, right?
No, my story going to be a little bit different because there's something inside me that speaks to me, that I listen to at all times. Some people call it God, you know what I mean? I just listen to it all the time, and I was in a place where I was in a pretty decent job at the time when I made a decision to go out on my own. I just woke up one day and that voice was saying to me, you need to move. I had no reason to move, but that voice said to move, and I moved. And the timing was just right. I was working at K Sharp at the time. And when I made that move, I got a call from K Shepherd asking me to come back in and work 4 days a month for twice the pay I was working for every single day.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's where it started. That is when I knew that there was something, what I was doing, that there was some kind of value to it.
Okay. And that's how you were able to fund your business in the beginning.
From the beginning. Fortunately for me, my intellectual real estate is the thing that I sell most.
Gotcha. So if you had to start your business all over again today, how would you go about funding it?
The question is if I would go about it a different way than I would have gone about it before.
Yeah. Would you do anything different?
I would not do anything different. 25 years in, looking back, I can see the path that I would have taken was the path that was directed from someplace higher than me. I mean, I never really had I don't have bad days. I believe that just as a seed have everything inside of it that it needs to become a tree, I have everything inside of me to become whatever I want to be. Once I find myself in the right environment, you understand? It has to manifest.
Okay, gotcha. So, as entrepreneurs, it can be a little shaky. You say you don't have bad days, but you would say you have a bad season or a season that is not so great? We could talk that a little bit.
My story can be different because the kind of person I am and the way I process life. The only difference between a rose and a thorn is the judgment. So everything that happens in your life, I can find a positive to it, and it always happens. Even the green shirt I wear today, I nothing planned. Everything just fall in line.
You're on Brian.
Yeah,
Definitely.
definitely.
Everything just fall in line because again, I walked to her calling. I heard it.
How does it really look behind the scenes, though, as for entrepreneur and balancing finances and all that?
It is hard work. One of the things that I did from early on, I knew I had to get an accountant. That was very, 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 very important to me.
Right.
Because I'm a creative, and when it comes to numbers and managing money and stuff, I am not the best person to do such. If I didn't have a good accountant, I don't think I'll be here sitting talking from this perspective right now. You know, oftentimes we have an idea and we believe because it's our idea, we go manage it totally.
Yeah.
As a creative, sometimes you got to know your strengths and you got to know how to surround yourself with people that you can entrust with the responsibility to make whole of what you're looking to do.
So you delegate to suit so you can stay in what you're good at.
Most definitely. As I like to put it, I keep my hard drive pretty empty, you know, so that when I go process, I process a lot faster instead of buffering.
So how do you manage the difference between personal and business? Is that something that the accountant would help you with
The
too?
accountant is really, really strict. And I mean, people oftentimes that I would be in a situation or conversation, they say, I go ask my accountant first. Somebody said, but big man, you might, it's your business. Yeah, it's my business, but I hire accountant for a reason. I could be a loose cannon if I want to be. You know what I mean? My accountant just pull me back and she gives me some sound advice all the time.
Was there ever a time that you felt like you don't really want to hear what she's saying, but you just believe and you need this money now? You ever had that moment?
I have had that moment many times. I mean, when I pray, sometimes the Lord is responding in ways that I don't even think that I want to hear that at this time because I have my own ideas. I treat it the same way. I hired her for a reason, and I lean heavily on her on her input. So I don't try to overstep that boundary. She has the knowledge. It might be my vision, but I entrust her with the responsibility of helping me shape and mold it and take it where it need to go.
So you give her that role and you trust her.
Yeah.
Yeah. In today's world right now, remember I asked you if you had to start your business, if there's anything you would do differently. But do you think that the economy now today in Barbados, is it easier or is it a little tougher to start your business, your idea?
I would say it is a little easier in this time for me because when I started my business 25 years ago, the event decorator was not a popular profession or profession that a lot of people were into.
Yeah.
I mean, at that time, I have never even heard of an event decorator when I started. I was just shoot off on K Sharper, doing K Sharper show windows. And
so you're a pioneer.
amongst the pioneers.
Yeah.
It was like Robert Weeks is a name that came before, who I had the privilege of meeting while doing K Sharper show windows. He knocked on the window and then went outside and he introduced himself. And he said, I really admire your work. You know, I would like to work with you one of these days, but we never got to work together. But after leaving K Shepherd, my phone just started to ring. You know, Norman Center call, Martin Dill's call, Braden's call, Crystal Cove, Coconut Creek. And before you knew it, I had a whole host of clients that wanted my service. And I'm not a very organized person. I'm not a very organized person. So immediately I knew I had to get someone who could help organize me.
Right.
And that has always been my thing. I always want people around me that can help pull up where I'm weak.
Yeah.
And that's what make the total of my team.
But how did you go about actually finding that person though?
At that time, I was working at K Shepherd with a young lady who later became my business partner.
Okay.
She was very organized and meticulous in her approach to doing anything. Well, I was a wild card. Because of my creativity, I could turn up now and you got even a half hour. If I'm pressured to do so, I could decorate this whole room. You know what I mean? That's the kind of confidence I have. And we've become known in the industry as the fire outers, really. When people got a problem and nobody can't fix it, call Ghostbusters. Call Renaissance Designs.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So, yeah. And that's why you will continue to say that my story line is going to be very, very
It's very different. Yeah.
It's going to be very different because as it relates to financial assistance from any lending agency, I've never received any.
Okay.
You know, again, if I have a job to do, it depends on my ability to see an empty space and can see the potential of it within the budget that the client have.
Right.
The budget that the client have, so the funds start with the client, not necessarily me. You know, so
And then you scale the project to fit the budget.
To fit the budget. And once I could secure the 50%, then the job is on its way.
Right.
So I didn't really have, it wasn't driven by, I didn't have to get any funding in that regard.
Okay. So, Marie, everyone is not really going to be able to have his same path or be lucky
No,
enough
far from.
to have a person there, especially a accountant as well too. So, is there anything that you can do for anyone that have an idea for a business, a small business, or anything like that?
Right. So, though not everyone will have the same path, and I love your story, by the way,
Thank you.
the most important thing you said was to get an accountant. A lot of people see it as a waste of money, a waste of time. A lot of people, when they start a business, they could start it out of a whim and start calculating things in their head. They say, "Oh, I make $1,000, and I go buy supplies for 200." They keep calculating in their head. They don't know writing it down. They're not keeping any records. And then on top of that, they will say that they go to financial institutions and we give them a hard time. You know, trust me, if you come to us, I'm sure that there are other financial institutions, but obviously I'm talking about Affinity here. But when you come to us and you have what you need to get a mortgage, to get a facility with us, you will get it. You know, again, make sure you have your financial records in order.
Right.
Now, to start in a business, you know, you are creative. You don't realize your strengths and weaknesses. And then you surround yourself with people, you know, that could, you know, capitalize on their strength
Yes.
to build up the business, right? And I think that a lot of people think that they can do it alone. You know, I'm not saying that to get a whole team of people and, you know, incur additional expenses. No.
Yeah.
But you have to surround yourself with like-minded people, surround yourself with people who can help build you up. Also, too, sometimes, you know, you start a business and you don't take it seriously. You know, a lot of people, they have a lot of ideas, but they never execute. You know, and I just want you to make sure that at the end of the day, you have a plan, put pen to paper, execute, do a budget. You know, do a budget. Because right now, in this day and age, this is not like 20 years ago or 30 years ago. There are so many apps and resources available for you to budget, for you to manage a business. I mean, people go on ChatGPT all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I call it my best friend to to get ideas on how to maneuver. And, you know, you don't even have to hire a consultant right now anymore. I'm talking about a small, if it's a big scale, yeah. If you're going on a bigger scale, yeah, you need the professional, you know, advice. But let's say you want to start, you know, a little baking business or something like that. There are tools out there that can help you start that business. And one of the things is to remain consistent in terms of budgeting. In terms of planning, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So you have to plan. Now, when it comes to the next steps of the business, because you don't have to start with debt.
Right.
You know, you could start with just saying, okay, I have a little 9 to 5. I had a little money save up. Let me just try and start at a smaller scale and then build up. A lot of people think that, let's say, for example, you want to sell accessories. You don't have to open a store filled with accessories. You know, you could start by selling to your coworkers. You know, selling to your friends.
Yeah.
Instagram has made it so easy.
Yeah, start
for you
small.
Know, to start
Yeah.
small.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people are waiting for the next big idea to be rich quick.
Yeah.
You have to start somewhere. So you don't have to go and open a big store, go and put yourself in a unnecessary debt. Just start by selling to your friends, your coworkers, whoever. Go online, you know, have a meeting point, meet them somewhere, you know, deliver. And when you start with the delivery and then you realize, you know, you're building up the business, and then maybe you could incur that cost. But right now, let's say most people prefer to have an online store instead of acquiring the cost of real estate, you know, because renting is an additional expense you don't need.
Yeah, rent and stuff and
Yes,
all
and
that,
staff and the
overheads,
stress.
utilities.
I've been there.
You've been there, yes.
What I say to you, like, you know, I don't have challenging days. It don't mean challenging things don't happen. That's how we process it.
Yeah,
It's not-
yeah.
It don't be a challenge to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, when I first started, because the whole thing snowballed and a lot of business started coming in, I started hiring people. At one point, they had 12 employees and I was renting 2 spaces in Newton, you know,
Right.
Newton industrial estate. Huge overheads.
Yeah.
And now
You scale down.
I got 4 employees,
You see?
right? And we doing just as much or more work than we do with 12.
You
Wow.
become efficient over time.
Efficient.
Yeah, efficiency.
And I used to work once a week. I used to work every single day when I had 12 employees.
Well,
But I
as an
got- I
entrepreneur,
got
is the plan, right?
quality-
That's the plan eventually, yes.
quality employees now who would. I got one person who takes the calls and
Yeah.
she's send out all the quotes, etc. Do the site visits and stuff. Then she would channel information to me. I would help push her along the course of coming to a final idea, and then they just execute.
And you see, and I like what you say, because at the end of the day, people think that for you to be an entrepreneur, you have to just work hard all the time, grinding. You have to put in the work so that at the end of the day, you could just let that business maybe, leave that business and let it sustain itself and move on to the next venture.
I thought the whole point of being an entrepreneur is to be able to exit later.
Exactly.
And not to be always in it.
Yes.
Because if you don't, then you don't own a business. You have a job.
You have a job, exactly.
And you end up working harder than if you actually work
There
for
was a point
someone else.
I really believe that being busy meant business.
No,
Being
it's
busy don't
not.
necessarily mean business.
You're just busy for no reason.
no reason.
Yeah. Shuffling paper.
Yeah.
It's about being efficient.
Efficient.
that-
Yes,
that-
exactly.
So the other thing about creatives and founders and entrepreneurs and stuff like that, like we know about the idea. If he's into design, so he know design, he don't know numbers. And then there's a lot of times it's a one person business. So can I then come to you and then get that support on how to make my money work for me? Because it's not that because you make money, but sometimes you don't manage it well.
No.
So then, you kind of like working for invoice after. People talk about paycheck to paycheck, but try working for invoice to invoice.
Yes.
So-
I like that term, invoice to invoice. As an
Yeah.
entrepreneur.
So is there something there for me at Affinity?
Yes, there is. So we have people that come to us every day, and say, they have a venture. I mean, they may have a job or already have an existing business and they want to go into another venture, or they want capital to maybe expand their business. What we do is that we partner with accountants, and there's an organization called BYBT. I think that our marketing manager can put that on our page. And I think it's on the website on the page, but if she doesn't, then she will make sure she put it, because I'm putting it out there, Valerie. Right. So we partner with them because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that you keep proper financial records, because we have to then take those records and assess them to see if we can lend you this money. Right. So we put you onto those accountants, those organizations that are geared towards supporting young entrepreneurs. And we and then from there, once they help you, you then come back to us, and then we are able then to give you the financing necessary. And again, it is not a case where we don't want to lend you the money, because remember, we are using people's deposits to lend it to you. So as a financial institution, we have to be very, very responsible with what we lend out money, credit union or not. Some people have this idea that you could go to credit union, it's easy to get money. Whereas we don't fit people into the same box, but at the end of the day, not because we are a credit union that we're just gonna lend money to any and everybody, because there are people like you and you that will have put their money in there and expect a return on it. So at the end of the day, we have to deliver to the members. But at the same time, we want to make sure that when you come to us, we assess your unique situation and give you a solution that's tailored to you. So you come to us, we realize that you may not be as efficient as D2, but you can come to us and we will put you onto somebody that could help you do your financials, your income statements, your cash flow, your balance sheet. And then you come to us and then we give you the tools necessary then to build your business. So we have a smart business loan where you could get up to $40,000 unsecured, which is good.
Unsecured.
Because let me tell you why, right? A lot of times, exactly. A lot of times people want loans, but they don't have the security. When you want a loan, more than likely you don't have the security, and that's why a lot of people, it's sadly, because it's not
if I had the
everybody.
security, I won't come to you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, not a lot of people that, somebody will have died and leave them a home or house or a inheritance or something like that for them to build on that. So a lot of people who start, that's why I say start small and then grow. You come, you get the loan, we do your cash flow, we look at your projections, what you tend to do with the business, you come with a business plan, and those persons will help you do that, the people that we put you on to.
Yeah.
And then we will give you the money then to go ahead. And also, too, we have a business savings account that is geared towards entrepreneurs and businesses so that they could accumulate funds and savings. Because remember, you make a profit, you're not supposed to spend it all.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you gotta keep some for yourself.
Yeah.
And one thing I wanted to add to is that I like the fact that you will refer to your accountant all the time, because you have to pay yourself a salary. That is why a lot of entrepreneurs forget that the business is not your personal piggy bank.
Yeah.
You understand? You have to pay yourself a salary. You need to have the discipline to pay yourself a salary. And that is why when people come to us with their financials, we like, okay, how much do you pay yourself? Oh, everything is paid through the business. Okay. I mean, I understand that you could expense it to the business, for whatever, tax purposes or whatever it is. But the point is that you need to make sure that, one, you pay yourself a salary. Because at the end of the day, next thing you know, you go out with friends, you expense the business. You go on a trip, personal vacation, you expense the business. And then you're wondering, why is the company not making any money?
Right.
Because you use it as your personal piggy bank. So those are the tools I think that are necessary to being an entrepreneur in terms of discipline, making sure that if you know that you're creative, and they always say creatives are very bad with money because you're so creative and you just want to create. You don't have time to organize your life. So that's why you realize that you needed somebody to keep you on track, and then you hired the accountant, and that's the best decision that you would have ever made.
I agree.
Yes.
Creatives live in color.
Yes.
Not in black and white.
Yes.
You don't like black and white and numbers.
Yes, definitely.
As a businessman of 25 years, I got my first company car last year. I used to buy all my cars myself. I used to fund everything.
With the salary that you pay yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I learned to live within my salary.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Marie, that's really good to know. I think that when we hear about loans and products and stuff like that from institutions, it's mostly personal. So now that we know that a business or startup, an idea could come to you and that can be funded, that's good information.
That is
I think
good,
so
yeah.
too. And the unsecured loan, I think that is
40,000 unsecured.
Yeah, I think that's good. I'm in my times looking for a loan. When I got to that point where it said, "Do you have any securities?" That was my exit point.
Correct. Yeah. You don't have any.
And after a while, I just thought that it was just fruitless going to any lending agency and just work on the situation.
Yeah, you need to make sure that you have your financials, because we have to understand how the business is making
Financial
money.
was always there.
Yeah.
Business plan was always there, but the security, having assets.
No.
I had nothing.
But as a startup, that's hard.
That's hard. It's
but,
hard.
but you always get that stumbling block when you go to certain institutions.
I come into Marie.
I got me thinking what kind of
Because that is what we tell people, because at the end of the day, we need to understand, one, how you're going to pay us when we give you this money. Now, there are persons who have a job, they want the money to, let's say, food security is very important in Barbados. And we realize a lot of people are coming to us to do chickens, to raise chickens, or, for agricultural purposes, which is good. But when, so you come to us, you have a job, we give you the money based on your salary. Or if you had another business, we look at that other business and you say you want to start another business, we say, okay, well, based on this business, you realize that you are financially responsible, you could qualify, so we're going to give you the money based off of this business for that other business.
Nice.
You understand? But however, though, if you know that you are you don't have a substantive job and you're starting from scratch, there are other agencies like Fund Access and the Price Growth Fund that help like entrepreneurs that really are not starting, that don't have any financial maybe history, but have a business plan per se. But with Affinity is that a lot of times you realize a lot of members say, well, you could give me $40,000. I say, yeah, once you show that you could pay back this money when the month come, you don't need the security, we'll give it to you unsecured. But at the end of the day, we trust that you then will make sure that you do your part in letting us give you that loan by keeping your records and having your financials in place and so forth. Yeah.
That is really good information. And entrepreneurship is a thing that I think a lot of people should get into know and have to get into know. Jobs are getting harder. Jobs are changing. And sometimes you might want to have an extra income coming in, even if you have a 9 to 5, So, and then we could create new industries if we empower the entrepreneurs,
And not because you have a 9 to 5 mean that you cannot be an entrepreneur. Huh?
Yeah.
I always tell people, so make sure that you find something else, to
if we
get
can get
additional
more
income.
people coming from a place, an inner place. You know, I have a passion for this and I can pursue this, and opposed to, well, this is make money, so again after that. Don't let the money come before the passion and purpose.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
have the passion and purpose first, and then you can turn that into money.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
most people that have the passion don't always have the right money guidance. So
Exactly.
Yes.
having you there,
Yes.
Marie, is
Yes,
really
definitely.
good.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
So this is where we are going to call it a wrap. You have been listening to From an Idea to Income, Building a Business That Wins. Thanks to D2 and Marie for coming.
Thank
You're most
you.
welcome.
You're
And
welcome.
it's a wrap.